naka-lady in blue. Ano? Anong nakaraan? Naka-lady in red. Napakagandang nilalang po ni Representative Migs Nagharap.
So, magandang araw sa ating mga kabayan mula Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao at sa ating mga kabayan po OFWs. Magandang araw sa kayo mga kabayan na tayo sa Kongreso o House of the Representative po saan tatalakayin about Smni. Ano? So, ang topic ngayon is Smni. So, tagal-tagal na rin din tayo nakapag-live dito. ilang linggo na.
Hindi ko magugulo yung position. Nandito po si Rover. Katabi ko po.
Editing ko na lang. Ma'am Fee Iliano, magandang araw. Katabi natin si Juan Historiador. Dito eh. Mahirap magbasa pag ganito. Nandito tayo sa
Shoutout po sa mahigit 1,000 viewers po natin.
Juan Historiador. Sa YouTube. Nag-YouTube na rin ako kasi hindi pa landscape eh. Pag Facebook, hindi nakikita. Naka-landscape ka sa Facebook? Ha? Dalawang Facebook? Hindi ko malandscape yung Facebook ko.
Ulitin mo.
Hindi rin talaga. Bagong setting na Facebook.
Hindi pwede yun.
Ewan ko sa'yo. Ayaw gumana sa akin. Buti na pleasing ba yun? Talagang puro Facebook na tayo ngayon. Pero buti may ano ba tayo? Ma'am Shopee, magandang araw. Again, mga kabayan na nandito tayo sa Kongreso o House of Representatives patungkol sa pagtatalakay ng Smni. Oy, salamat po ah. Sino ba yan ang mahag natin? Ano? Patayo gusto mo? Patayo dito ang kabila. Patayo ka dyan sa kabila. Patayo. Palagyan mo muna.
Nagkaaway sila sa comment section. Sino ba yun?
Magala pa rin siya, no?
Oh, sana pagkakabukas ako sa traffic. Paano ba ang malaman? Hello po kay Storya na Steve. Ayan.
Sabi ng iba,
Roman trip yung
sige na para mamaya pag-start yung live. Maayos na.
Ang gulo
Hindi siya na kayo makakabay. Sinisitip pala namin yung pista namin. Ito, kasi yung cellphone namin. Ano siya? Sige. Okay. Bagay, white pa rin yung kuha ng camera ko. Iba talaga pag iPhone 3. Sa akin kasi cellphone lang yun. Kaya ito yung Android.
Uy, ayaw gulo mo rin ito sa kabi. Anak naman ka. So,
Bagay na nakakabay.
tingin ko sa wifi nila rito eh. Hindi ka gagawan. Kaya ang gamitin. Ito nga ni ano dito? Ate yung dito. Oh, ano na ako? Tingnan mo. Ano eh? Yan pala siya. Yun. Si Sir Dante Maravillas po. Magana mo?
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. It is my pleasure to call this legislative franchise
Recording in
meeting
progress.
order. For the prayer, the chair recognizes the vice chair, the Honorable Johnny Pimentel.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we praise and worship you, your holiness, majesty, and greatness. We remain grateful and we thank you for gathering us today to perform our mandate while recognizing our human limitations. We humbly ask for the gift of your wisdom, clarity of thought, and patience as we tackle each of the tasks at hand with love and grace in our hearts. We implore that you endow us with strength and understanding as we sit down and confer as one family, united in your holy name and all for your greater glory. Please guide our house leaders, members, and officials to appreciate and foster the work of this committee as we submit your grace and mercy. All this we pray in the mighty name of Jesus Christ and in unity of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Love and grace in our hearts. We implore that you endow us with strength and understanding. Sit down and confer as one family, united in your holy name and all for your greater glory. Please guide our house leaders, members, and officials to appreciate and foster the work of this committee.
Delete yung ano.
Andiyan na rin pala si Richard Gomez. Kay lastasin ng alab ng puso, sa ligid mo'y buhay. Upang hinirap, doon ka nang mag-ibig sa manlulubi. Di ka pasisiin sa dagat at bundok, sa simula. Sa langit mo'y bukaw, madlang tula at awit. Kaya't minamahal ang isap ng mata, at mo'y tagumpay na natiling ang bituin at o nang kailan pa man nagdidilim. Lupa na harap ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Hindi kaya ng pagmay nag-aapi, ang matay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you. Please take your seats.
Tama ba?
Ay, sa city kasi yan, yung city. Ganyan sa akin, yung city.
Roll call of members.
Hindi na Facebook page ito.
Yan, kaya nga, ganyan din sa akin.
Ganun.
Oo, yun, kailan ko pupunta sa city board live.
Mr. Chair, I move to dispense
Ulitin
with the
mo,
roll
yung live
call.
mo. Naka-city mo yun.
Second.
Hindi pa naman ito nakalive. YouTube.
We now proceed with the acknowledgement of members and guests. The committee secretary, the committee secretary, please acknowledge the members present and the guests that are here present in our third hearing.
Ayun yun. Nakalak yun. Hindi. Yan ang lock.
Ay, ito yun lang.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, and to our honorable guests and House members. In today's meeting, we have the following members in attendance. We have Vice Chairperson Johnny T. Pimentel. We also have Congressman Jonathan Keith Flores, Congressman Danes Fernandez, Congressman Tobias Reynald Chanco, Congressman Alan P., Congresswoman Franz Castro, Congressman Sergio De Golf Jr., Congressman Rex Anthony Cruz Collada, Representative Benedito Abante. We also have Congressman Joseph Gilbert Villago, Congressman Regina T., Congressman Agustina Pancho, Congressman Paul Daza, Congressman Raul Daniel Manuel, Congressman Margarita Nograles, Honorable Congressman Richard Gomez. We also have Congressman Ramon Rodrigo Gutierrez. And
Di ba sa ano, bawat live mo, pupunta ka dapat ng city. Punta ka ba ng city?
we also have Congressman Howard Pinto and
Bawat live yun,
Congressman
pupunta ka ng city. Okay, hindi ko muna yung live.
Recognize. No proceed to our guests.
Tapos yung ads.
For our resource person, we have the following invited guests today from NTC. We have the Deputy Commissioner Engineer Alvin Blanco.
Nanibago na yun.
From the
Live na.
AMLAC, we have Governor Eli M. Remolona Jr., Chairman. From the DR, we have Ms. Marilu Levitt. From the Revenue District Office, we are RDO 72. From SEC, we have Attorney Romuald Padilla, the General Counsel. We also have from KBP, Attorney Rudolph Bularbal. From the SMNI, We have the President, Mr. Marlon Rosete, Ms. Hannah Jane Sancho, a member of the board, Ms. Cristina San Pedro, member of the board, Ludivia Ayang, the treasurer, Ms. Loris Nepomuceno, the corporate secretary, and the executive pastor, Brother Marlon Acobo. From the NLRC, we also have the presiding commissioner for the public sector, 3rd Division, Mr. Victor Avicilia. And from COA, we have here the representative, Isaiah Reynoso. Your honors. We are also we have also here today the lawyers of SMNI, Attorney Mark Tolentino and Attorney Rolex Subico.
Very much, Comsec. I think you forgot another House official, Comsec.
Yes, sir. We have also in the panel our Secretary General, Honorable Reginald Velasquez. Yes, sir.
As resource persons. Thank you. Dearest colleagues, invited guests, resource persons, and to the Filipino people watching our proceedings today. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. I welcome you to the third hearing called by the Committee on Legislative Franchise to continue our discussions of the various issues surrounding the franchise of Suara Submedia Corporation, more commonly known as SMNI. In the course of the previous hearings, evidence has been presented to this committee on various actions committed by SMNI which constitute violations of their franchise as provided for under Republic Act 11422. Given the submissions made by the various resource persons, the answers given during the previous hearings, and the research conducted by this committee and its members, we have received proof that SMNI has violated Section 4, Section 10, and Section 11 of its franchise. We have to make it clear that this investigation goes beyond SMNI. This investigation goes into ensuring that the granted franchises by government do not contribute to the spread of disinformation and fake news. It is a basic principle in journalism that in a news article or a news report that a reporter must cite their source. A quote must be attributed to the person who said it. Disinformation and fake news can spread easily when sources are not identified and if people are allowed to make claims and allegations left and right without citing their source. We in Congress must play a role in ensuring disinformation has no room in our democratic space. Mga kababayan, gagawin ng committee ito ang kanyang tungkulin at obligasyon sa ilalim ng batas. This committee has the responsibility to ensure only entities who serve the public interest and who have the good and welfare of the Filipino people as their priority should have the privilege of a franchise and the benefits which flow from the franchise. Ang dapat pangunahing prioridad ng bawat binibigyan ng prangkisa ay ang kapakanan ng taong bayan. Ang pagkalat ng mga fake news at disinformation ay labag sa kapakanan ng taong bayan. Though Congress is the one that grants any franchise, it is ultimately the Filipino people. Through their elected representatives who grant the franchise, A franchise, if you think about it closely, is the trust of the Filipino people to a particular entity to provide a public service for the public good. Ang prangkisa ay tiwala na binibigay ng taong bayan sa isang korporasyon o grupo na nagbibigay ng serbisyo at paglilingkod sa tao. It is the task of this committee as elected representatives of the Filipino people to ensure that those who violate the trust given to them by the Filipino people must face the proper consequences. Mga kababayan, gagawin ng committee ito ang kanyang tungkulin at obligasyon sa taong bayan. Hindi dapat baliwala ang tiwala ng taong bayan. Ang mga lumalabag sa kanilang prangkisa, ang mga lumalabag sa tiwalang pinagkakaloob ng taong bayan ay dapat managot sa ilalim ng batas. Maraming salamat po, and let us start with our hearing. The first item on the agenda is the continuation of the deliberation of the following referrals. Privilege speech of Representative Dan Fernandez. No, this is wrong. David J.J. Suarez. Masyado kong bilit kay Dan Fernandez. Sabi ko, Dan Fernandez. J.J. Suarez delivered on the plenary on November 28, 2023 that called on the investigation of fake news pending by Smni. House Resolution 230 offered by the Honorable Franz Castro, Arlene Rosas, and Raul Manuel condemned the fake news spreading and baseless tagging of individual groups or organizations by the Smni. House Resolution number 1428 offered by Representative Rosas, Manuel, and F. Castro that condemned the fake news spreading, baseless tagging, and grave threat against ACT Party's teachers list. Rep. F. Castro by Dr. Rodrigo Rowan Duterte and Smni. We have the list of interpreters, and we will call them on a first to register basis. We also have the House resolution, a resolution urging the National Telecommunication Commission to suspend the operations of Swara Sub Media Corporation, operating under the business name Sunshine Media Network, for violating the terms and conditions of this franchise under the Public Act number 1422, sponsored by the Honorable Margarita Attorney Mix D. Nagharap. The resolution of the Honorable Mix Nagharap was approved in the last hearing, and that we are supposed to discuss the approval of the committee report. Who would like to speak for this particular measure? The chair first will recognize the Honorable Toby Janko. Silence is requested.
Yes, Mr. Chair. May I be allowed to show a screenshot on our screen?
Please. Please keep the lights needed on the portion of the...
Pwede kong lakihan konti. Okay. This is a social media post from SMNI, and I will read it. SMI News collabs with CGTN. CGTN, Mr. Chair, dear colleagues, is the China Global Television Network, which is one of the three branches of the state-run China Media Group. So, ibig sabihin yung CGTN, yan po ay pag-aari ng gobyerno ng China. SMI News and China's state TV, CGTN, are poised to establish partnerships to facilitate the dissemination of information. The collaboration aims to enhance the exchange of news and promote a deeper understanding of current affairs between the two media organizations. By working together, SMI News and CGTN will deliver comprehensive and reliable news coverage to their respective audiences. The initiative underscores the significance of international cooperation in sharing diverse perspectives and fostering a more informed global community. The meeting between the executives of the two networks took place in Beijing, China. Mr. Chair, the reason why I'm bringing this out, because this is very dangerous, no? Kung ang isang franchise holder ay may cooperation o collab with the Chinese government, state-owned o pag-aari ng gobyerno ng China na media network, eh alam naman natin ang nilalabas ng China ngayon, lalo na sa West Philippines Sea, ay puro kasinungalingan. So ano magiging epekto nito, ang tanong, doon sa binigyan ng prangkisa ng Kongreso? At ang isa pang mahalaga dito, Mr. Chair, please allow me to show naman a video clip from the last hearing.
Mahina, no? Mahina yung boses.
Yung sinasabi niya.
Pwede po kaya naka-irritate ulit tapos
Sobrang hina ng boses.
Ng CGTN ay hindi ba po kumilitin?
Mahina.
Okay, Mr. Chair, paano po natin ma-reconcile? May we ask the representatives of SMNI, how can we reconcile this? Doon sa social media post nila, ang nakasulat po, maliwanag, SMNI News. Pero nung nandito po si Atty. Tolentino, nung nakarang Huwebes, sinasabi niya na hindi po SMNI News, kung hindi SMNI Foundation. So alin po dun ang totoo, Mr. Chair?
Can I answer that, Mr. Chair? The lawyer, according to the Tino's recommendation. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Para po sa lahat, iba yung agreement ng SMNI with CGTN. Iba naman yung SMNI Foundation with China Embassy Partnership. With China Embassy Partnership and SMNI Foundation, I have with me a memorandum of agreement with the Embassy of the People's Republic of China and SMNI Foundation. This is with respect to the basketball court financed by the embassy in Davao City and Tagami, Leyte. This project is part of Chinese Embassy's initiative for people-to-people exchanges with the Filipino community. Iba pa yun. But with respect to SMNI and CGTN, this is with respect to the collaboration of SMNI and China State TV, CGTN, following the executive meeting in Beijing, China, last July 2023. The partnership of SMNI and CGTN will allow both parties to share only news videos that can be aired in each platform. CGTN has correspondents in different parts of the world, and through this partnership, they can also report SMNI, especially in international breaking news. On the other hand, SMNI will provide packaged news coverage. This is similar to the practice when subscribing to other international news agencies, such as Reuters, Associated Press, CNN, Mr. Chair,
and
Mr. Chair, before Attorney Tolentino continues his statement, I just would like to remind him he's under oath. And therefore, he must speak the truth in his committee. Because if not, I'll be compelled to move to make a motion
Magiging tatlo na.
to declare him in contempt of this committee.
Thank you very much, Chair. Mr. Chair. Yes, before we let Attorney Tolentino, I think in that meeting, if I recall correctly, we can ask the stenographers to check the records of the meeting. Hindi po niya sinabi that there were two separate agreements. Ang tanda ko po, ang sinabi niya, walang agreement yung CGTN with SMNI News at isa lang ang agreement na yun po ay yung sa Chinese Embassy at SMNI Foundation. Pero ngayon po, sinasabi po niya, dalawa po yung agreement. So please, to our stenographers, kindly check kung tama po yung recollection ko doon sa meeting na yun. Kasi yun po ang tanda ko. So magkaiba po yung sinasabi ngayon na dalawa yung agreement, magkaiba rin yung sinasabi noong nakaraang hearing na isa lang po yung agreement. So, pero habang sinecheck po ng ating secretariat yan, ang mabuti lang po, humingi na lang po tayo ng kopya ng agreement ng SMNI News tsaka ng CGTN. But still, before the end of the meeting, I would like to read the transcribed version so that we will know if he really said that there were two o ang sabi niya doon sa meeting na yon ay isa lang po yung agreement. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, to expedite the situation, no? Mr. Chair.
There was a request by the Honorable Campo for copies of what you are reading, those two. May I ask the page to please get a copy of what Attorney Trentino is reading? May we have a copy while you're reading?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, in the spirit of
the Honorable
in the spirit of fairness, may we allow the resource speaker to recollect his statement in the last hearing, thereby asking him to find out for himself kung he mentioned those statements that was mentioned by Congressman Toby. In that case, we will be proceeding with our hearing para makakitid po tayo sa oras. Kasi I also believe that you mentioned that statement. Mrs. Chair.
May I have the other agreement? We were told.
Can I make a clarification?
I'm sorry?
Can I make a clarification?
Yes, but can we have another copy? You mentioned of two agreements.
I only mentioned one agreement, Mr. Chairman.
No, you mentioned that there's a foundation and there is.
Can I finish my statement, Mr. Chairman?
Okay, please.
The agreement is only between SMNA Foundation and Chinese Embassy Partnership with respect to the basketball court in Davao City and Dagami, Leyte. With respect to the SMNI and CGTN, there is no written agreement yet. It's still in the process of negotiation.
Okay, so we have a copy in our possession of the agreement of the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in the Republic of the Philippines and SMNI Foundation.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So you confirm that this is a copy, a true copy.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And you're saying now that the second agreement does not have anything.
Tanggalin lang natin, right lang.
Yes, Mr. Chair. It's still in the process of negotiation.
Okay.
Okay, so Honorable Chanco, you still have the floor.
Yes, that's okay. I will just coordinate the committee secretary with regards to the transcripts. And you can proceed, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes,
Again,
Attorney Trentino.
Mr. Chair, with respect to the other issue, Mr. Chair, subject to the constitutional rights and laws, Mr. Chair, and for the spirit of Christmas and humanitarian reason, Mr. Chair, I'd like to request this honorable committee to the Chair that my two clients, Ta Eric Celis and Dr. Lorraine Badoy, be released from detention, Mr. Chair, with undertaking that they will write a formal letter to this honorable committee, to the chairman, about this request, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Attorney Trentino. We will await those letters. We're in receipt of one, but we still don't have another one. So anyway, we will go to the at the proper time. I will be calling on you.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr.
Chair.
Thank
Chair,
you very
before we
much.
proceed,
Yes.
may I ask, sino po yung nagsulat? Dalawa yung kinontent po natin, si Celis and si Badoy.
Yes,
Sino na po ba nagsulat requesting for reconsideration?
well, we are in receipt this morning of a letter from Ka Eric Celis, and we will read this later. We will have to proceed with the hearing,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
and after we have
Sorry.
done, we will go to the portion where we will be discussing this. Thank you
So,
very much.
Mr. Chair, for clarification purposes, we only have one letter at the moment.
Yes, we only have one.
So wala pa tayong letter coming from Badoy.
Opo, wala Thank you very much. So the Honorable Toby is already done with. The Honorable Benny Abante is recognized. You're the second interpreter.
Mr. Chair, I just would like to make it clear to Attorney Tolentino, no? Because he made mention that he would like the two clients he has to be released on the issue of constitutional right. I'd like to remind him that what we're doing here is also our constitutional right.
Yes,
Attorney
sir.
Tolentino.
We agree with that, Mr. Chair.
Therefore, you ought to reform your request.
Yes,
Just look, if you're telling us that they have their own constitution, then we have our own also here. And what we're doing right now is our constitutional right. And therefore, you ought to reform your statement.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Can I reform my statement, Mr. Chair?
Okay, we will go there later, okay?
Thank you.
But the Honorable Benny Abante, you still have the floor for any interpretation on the bill of the Honorable Mr. Ramos.
Mr. Chair, what I just would like to raise is that I think Madam Badoy made a statement that the House of Representatives is infiltrated with communist elements. I know that they can be able to answer it. Perhaps our lawyer here could be able to answer that. Why did she make that statement?
That's why, Mr. Chair, if our request will be granted, they're willing to answer that, Mr. Chair, because they have personal knowledge about that question, Mr. Chair.
So, in short, you don't have any, you can explain.
The best person to answer that, Mr. Chair, is Dr. Lorraine Badoy, and like I said, is with respect to the terrorist issues, Mr. Chair, or or communist issues, Mr. Chair.
May I just ask, are you still lawyering for them? You were hired lawyer in the last hearing. Are you still going to lawyer for them?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so does it also go with Attorney Rex Supico?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So now, Honorable Abante,
Yeah, Mr. Chair,
you still have the floor.
sa akin in the spirit of the season, you would like them to be released also. But when you begin to make statements like that, accusing the House of Representatives to have communist elements here, well, that would be a very big accusation that this House cannot accept, Mr. Chair. I'm going to continue later on with my question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Benny Abante. We now go to the third interpreter, the Honorable Daniel Manuel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Magandang umaga.
Mr. Chair, ang tanong ka related din dun sa partnership ng SMNI sa Chinese State Media Network na Chinese Global Television Network o CGTN. Mr. Chair, may ipapa-flash po sana tayo na ilan sa mga na-observe din natin regarding this partnership. Kasi meron pong isang tweet ang account na SMNI News sa platform na X, which is formerly Twitter, announcing this deal. Ang sabi po dun sa tweet, at kung maaari po ay may flash din ito, and I quote, "Isang partnership deal ang nakatakdang isapinal sa pagitan ng SMNI News at ng China Global Television Network or CGTN para sa pagbabalita." End of quote. Tapos Mr. Chair, sa ilalim po nun ay yung link sa website ng SMNI News. That would be smninewschannel.com. Ito po ay na-tweet noong July 18, 2023. And mali ka flash na po ba natin? Sige, while natin po natin, Mr. Chair, para din ma-explain ko ang nilalaman nitong nakita po natin. So, part po ng tweet ay yung link. So, kung i-click po yung link, dapat makikita ang news item ng SMNI to further explain ano ang partnership deal. Pero Mr. Chair, pag na-click na po ang link, ang lalabas na po ay yung error na mensahe, 404, oops, that page cannot be found. So Mr. Chair, may we know bakit po hindi na makita ang ganitong webpage sa smniNewsChannel.com.
Mr. Chair, can I ask if it is Facebook, YouTube, TikTok? I know what platform is that, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I just mentioned may tweet po sa X, which is formerly Twitter, tapos may link po ng page. Pero ang link po mismo pag ini-click, ang lalabas po ay wala na ang page.
To the best of my knowledge, Mr. Chair, the Facebook, the Twitter, YouTube, tinanggal nila ang SMNI, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, ito po ay sa page mismo ng SMNI. It's smninewschannel.com. So Mr. Chair, ang tanging may control po nito ay SMNI, hindi po ang ibang mga social media companies or platforms.
Is there someone who can answer this correctly? Please introduce yourself and what position do you hold?
I'm Christina San Pedro, Mr. Chair, a part of the BOD, but also involved in operations at SMNI.
Please,
Thank you.
please answer.
Maybe the Honorable Raul Manuel was saying, the link that he was saying was, because most of our videos on our website before was hosted by YouTube, and since our YouTube...
Mr. Chair, allow me to
channel
interrupt. Hindi po connected ang inyong website sa YouTube. Mr. Chair, kasi baka malito po ang committee na ito dahil again, ang website po na ito ay mismo nasa news channel or ibig sabihin, nasa website mismo ng SMNI. And no other entity has control of that website except SMNI. So, ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, kung na-take down ang page na ito, it would be SMNI that took it down. So, ang tanong po natin, bakit hindi na available ang ganitong news item which is supposed to explain that tweet regarding the partnership of SMNI and CGTN?
If I may.
This is your first time to attend the hearing, ma'am.
I was here sa first hearing, not my first year.
Were you part of the group that received the oath?
Just today, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so can you please rise? I direct the COMSEC to administer the oath to a member of the board of directors of SMNI.
Stand and raise your right hand.
Kung sino po nandito na naimbitahan na galing po sa SMNI na bago imbita, please, sorry na po kayo tumayo.
May I call on Ms. Hannah Jane Sancho, Ms. Christina San Pedro, Ms. Virginia Aya, Ms. Luis Nepomuceno, Brother Mardon Acobo, and from the AMLAC we have Governor Eli Rebolana. From the NLRC, may I ask Mr. Presiding Commissioner Victor Avicilia, and from BIR, Ms. Marilu S. Nevi, to take the oath. Please raise your right hand.
May I point out, Mr. Chairman, that the representatives of the Anti-Money Laundering Council are Attorneys Romeo Raymond Santos, that is me, Attorney William Russell S. Malang, and Attorney Jeffrey Arias.
May we also ask all of the AMLAC to please rise. Kung meron pa ho nandito na hindi pa ho naimbitahan, na hindi pa ho na-administer ang oath, kayo na rin po. Kung meron pa po. Okay.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this congressional victims of God. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sa mga panahon. So, we now proceed. Please reply to the question raised by the Honorable Manuel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To the best of my knowledge, we have discussed that with our technical persons that some of our videos are being hosted in YouTube, so therefore it disappears. That's as far as I know about disappearance of videos.
Honorable member.
Mr. Chair, I don't think we have to be technical experts about internet and websites para po maintindihan na hindi po katanggap-tanggap ang naging sagot. Mr. Chair, ayun po naka-flash na sa ating screen. And kung pwede po ma-back para mapakita lang natin ang tweet regarding the partnership from the Twitter account. So Mr. Chair, ayan, yan po ang tweet mismo ng SMI News at andyan po yung link, yung naka-blue. Tapos po, kapag i-click na po ang link, and so pwede na pong next, yan po ang lalabas. So again, that website is by SMI News itself. The page that is supposed to contain the news na nandun sa tweet is hosted by the SMNI website. So, Mr. Chair, maybe we can hear for one last time kung meron pong ibang paliwanag. Kasi kung wala pong ibang paliwanag, then we can only conclude for ourselves kung bakit tinanggal na iyan ng SMNI.
Again, Mr. Chair, if we go back to the tweet that Honorable Manuel is pointing out, it says that isa sa pinal po, so it doesn't mean na even na wala po yung video, which we cannot also know right now kung ano po yung pina-point out niya na video. Ang sinabi po ng tweet ay isa sa pinal, so ibig sabihin po yung sinasabi po ni Attorney Mark kanina na ongoing po yung transaction, wala pa po nangyayaring final na transaction with CGTN. Maraming salamat po.
Mr. Chair, the resource person is not answering the question. We are actually not referring to any video which is hosted by some other platform like YouTube or iba pa. Ang nasa link po ay mismo galing sa SMNI. And clearly, gusto natin i-establish ang fact na tinake down ng SMNI ang sarili nilang balita to explain the details of that partnership with the CGTN. So,
Ma'am, please reply. Tinanggal niyo ba o inalis niyo ba?
Mr. Chair, wala pa akong personal knowledge. Kung yan po ay tinake down, yun po ang to the best of my knowledge na ma-i-explain ko na napag-meetingan namin ng IT before pa way back kung bakit nawawala yung iba namin mga videos.
Sino pwede mag-explain ito? Kung hindi ko kayo, kayong board of directors, hindi ba dapat yung mga lahat yan, yung mga technical, mag-explain sa inyo kung ano nangyayari sa inyong website at ang inyong mga tweets?
Yes po, Mr. Chair. So
Is there a way you can ask that now? And I'll get back to you later.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Okay? And yan, I know si Attorney Rolex, kino-coach ka rin yan. Kaya, Attorney, baka pwedeng patawagin po natin at malaman po natin para matapos na po itong mga issue ko din. Maghihiling na naman ako para lang pag-usapan po yung mga issue niyan. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Salamat, Attorney, ang nilagalan na Attorney Rolex Supremo.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Isang elementary pa lang ako, binabasa ko na yan. Hasta dati. Ngayon, kasama ko na. Okay. At roommate ni Congressman Dan Fernandez na inamin ni Congressman Dan. Ang ganyan, yan yung ibang usapan yan, ha? Kung ano pong, at saka may relationship kayo, binanggit mo, no? So, pamanggitin natin. Gusto ko malaman ang klase relationship yan, Kong Dan. Okay. Okay. We now proceed. The Commonwealth has the floor, please proceed.
thank you, Mr. Chair. So dahil po, akalat kayo na-take down ang news item na ito, galing mismo sa SMNI, they posted it, and then tinigtaw din po nila. So tatanungin na lang din po natin ang mga detalye. So dun po sa partnership ng SMNI News tsaka CGTN ay aside dun sa video sharing, ibig sabihin po ba noon, the Chinese media can feed us with videos na pwede natin i-play dito and the other way around? Ano po ang terms na gustong ma-achieve ng agreement ng dalawa?
Whom?
To anyone po,
Anyone.
SMNI.
Yes, ma'am. Kayo pa rin.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes, you may.
Ang natatangi po na magiging laman po ng agreement na yan ay kung mayroon po silang video footage na gusto namin na gamitin sa aming balita, ay pwede po namin gamitin at hindi po nila kami pwedeng diktahan kung anong balita ang aming ipapalabas. The same goes with them. Katulad din po yan ng subscription sa routers, yung pinapaliwanag po kanina ni Atty. Mark. Ganun lang po, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, dahil nga isa sa mga issue na mahalaga din at dapat nga ay may active role ang lahat ng mga Pilipino ay ang pagdepensa ng West Philippine Sea. So, Mr. Chair, so far, may mga napapublish po ba na mga balita ang SMNI in connection to the issue of the West Philippine Sea?
Ma'am, who will reply? Yes, please state your name.
Good morning,
and
sir.
position.
Hannah Sancho, SMNI po. Member po ng BOD and kasama din po sa operations ng SMNI. Kung ano po yung mga balita po na nakukuha ng mga reporters namin, with regards po sa issue po ng West Philippine Sea, ay binabalita po namin po.
So, Mr. Chair, how often ang coverage ng SMNI regarding what is happening in the West Philippine Sea?
Please proceed.
Your Honor,
Yes, please reply.
whenever may magkakaroon po ng press conference na pinapatawag po ang Department of Defense or Philippine Coast Guard in relations po sa West Philippine Sea, meron po tayong reporters po na nagko-cover and binabalita po nila on the same day po. May mga big reporters po tayo sa Defense, sa PCG po, lahat po ng areas na may concern po sa West Philippine Sea.
Mr. Chair, would SMNI agree na ang West Philippine Sea ay bahagi iyan ng teritoryo ng Pilipinas?
Who will reply? Attorney Tolentino.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we agree that West Philippine Sea is part of the Philippines.
Now, Mr. Chair, with that, paano po natin matitiyak na ang coverage when it comes to this issue ay tunay na magiging aligned doon sa ating claims with the West Philippine Sea kung ang partner mismo ng SMNI ay isang media network na ito ay bahagi talaga mismo o ito ay pagmamayari ng Chinese government.
Sama sa
Attorney Tolentino.
sinasabi ng ating director, hindi didiktahan ang SMNI kung ano yung news na ipapakita. But based only on the video, hiyaman ng video, same also yung ginagawa ng other media networks na mga subscribers. Kasi yung subscription kasi ng Reuters, yung agency France, may bayad po yan. But with respect to CGTN, walang bayad po yan. So, yun ang pagkakaiba. But still, ang ginagamit natin, yung mga video clippings, ganyan lang po, but it doesn't mean na may diktat on the part of the CGTN to the SMNI. In fact, per record, Mr. Chair, wala pa pong final written agreement with SMNI and CGTN.
Mr. Chair, what is the timeline of that agreement? When is that expected to be finalized at kailan mapipirmahan?
Who can reply? Attorney? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For now, wala pa pong timeline itong usapin na ito sapagkat lumalalim pa ang ating usapin sa West Philippine Sea. Yan lang po.
Can SMNI elaborate on that, Mr. Chair? Kasi ang nabanggit kanina, whatever is the stand of, for example, China doon sa West Philippine Sea, hindi daw makaka-affect sa kanilang coverage. Pero ngayon, Mr. Chair, ang binabanggit dahil uninit ang issue, then hindi pa definitely makapagsabi ang SMNI, kailan mapipinal ang agreement?
Katulad po ng sinabi ko, Mr. Chair.
Yes, please.
Yes po. Katulad ng sinabi ko po kanina, wala pa pong final date dahil hindi pa po kami uli na pikipag-usap sa CGTN kung kailan po ito maisasapilan. Kaya po ang aming mga balita ay isasapilan.
Sige, Mr. Chair, kasi ang naging tweet mismo ng SMNI News, ang pinakita natin kanina, ang sabi po doon, the partnership deal is set to be finalized. And ang date po nun ay July 18, 2023. So Mr. Chair, ilang buwan na rin ang lumipas, kaya I think it is timely for us to ask, no? Kasi nga ang involved dito ay ang patuloy na operations ng SMNI, and we have the right to know kung kailan talaga mapafinalize ang ganitong agreement, kung ito naman ay titindigan talaga ng SMNI na matuloy.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
the last meeting with the executives of SMNI and China State TV, the CGTN, was last July 2023. But still, we are still in the process of negotiation. It's not yet final. Hopefully, as soon as possible, as long as wala pong kumabiolate na law, na ating batas, we will agree. But assuming na may violation of the law, we will not sign any agreement with the TV, CGTN. That's why we would like to undertake na yung SMNI, we will follow all the laws and the Philippine Constitution with respect to this agreement.
Na Mr. Chair, ang kasunod po natin na magiging tanong, no? Dahil ang SMNI, as we have observed, naging part ng kanyang pag-present ng mga balita, whether totoo man o hindi, ay ang pag-red tag sa iba't ibang mga tao. Mr. Chair, concerned ang ating mga mangingisda na nandyan sa area na malapit sa West Philippine Sea. Dahil sila sa totoo lang, mahal nila ang bayan, tapos ang at stake dyan ay aside sa territory natin, kabuhayan nila. Now, Mr. Chair, they are very bothered with this kind of partnership dahil kapag halimbawa sila ay nagsalita in defense of the West Philippine Sea, paano sila i-cover ng SMNI kung ganon kasama ang tingin sa mga taong nagpapaabot lamang ng kanilang mga hinaing. We fear that if ever lumala ang nangyayari sa West Philippine Sea, baka sila pa ay i-red tag ng SMNI, tatawaging mga kalaban ng bayan. But in fact, what they are doing is actually in service of the goals of our country.
The reply, does that, are you asking for a reply?
Yes.
Attorney Tolentino.
We believe, Mr. Chair, that there is no red tagging. We never practice red tagging. And in fact, wala po sa batas ang red tagging, Mr. Chair.
So, sabi nyo, hindi rin yung red tag.
Never.
Then you follow it up by, there is no law
Yes, Mr. Chair.
that describes red tagging or defines red tagging. Yes.
Mr. Chair, meron na pong mga bahagi ng ating judicial branch na nag-define ng red tagging. We have Associate Justice Marvic Leonel, nandiyan din ang Manila Regional Trial Court. So, Mr. Chair, andyan na rin po ang mga definitions. And Mr. Chair, isa nga ito sa mga mabibigat na usapin natin kasi itong nangyayaring red tagging, totoo at real siya na nangyayari. So, hindi natin matanggapin hanggang ngayon ay dinedenay ng network na ginagawa niya ito. Kasi napakarami na pong mga independent outlets and even other fact-checking agencies na nagsasabi na nagre-red tag ang SMNI. Halimbawa, Mr. Chair, so actually, maliban dun sa issue nga, diba, ng pagre-red tag sa mga defenders din ng West Philippine Sea, ay napakarami ding mga usapin pa. For example, Mr. Chair, we have Verifiles na nag-fact check ng isa sa mga claims ni Lorraine Badoy Partosa. Ang sabi po nila ay for example, we have Jonathan De Santos na isang officer, actually chairperson ng National Union of Journalists of the Philippines, Mr. Chair. So supposedly, if SMNI claims that it is a legitimate media organization, then dapat katuwang niya at pinoprotektahan din niya ang kanyang kapwa media. And right now, they are even appealing to other media outlets to defend its freedom of expression. Pero Mr. Chair, inabuso ng SMNI ang kanyang freedom of expression to the point na pati media ay nire-red tag nila. So, Mr. Chair, meron po ba tayong resource person mula sa, for example, media practitioners natin?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, meron po bang from like media practitioners?
Yes. Yes. Can you really reply? Kasi we will have to move, no? We're still discussing the bill of the Honorable Nograles. That's in the committee report. So we will have to wind up already. So that we can move on to the other questions. No? Okay. Yes, please.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
You.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, the Honorable
Clarify
Nograles,
lang,
I'm sorry, ma'am.
resolution pa po, hindi po bill yung pinag ko, resolution po.
Yes.
Resolution po. Sinasabi mo kasi Mr. Chair, bill, hindi po bill.
My apologies. The resolution authored by the Honorable Nagharap. My apologies. We now proceed, please.
Mr. Chair, I was asking if meron pong mga resource person tayo from like media practitioners or media groups.
Please.
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, I will defer the question of the Honorable Raul Manuel to our in-house consultant for broadcast operations, Suji Sonsa.
We have in our presence to represent SMNI, Mr. J. Sonsa. You have the floor, sir.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. With respect to the things that were elucidated, explained by the Honorable Congressman from the party list.
Yes, sir.
For as long as there is a jurisprudence and there is an approved law pertaining to red tag, I'm sure any and all media practitioners will follow it. In the meantime, that there are no laws, or what he was mentioning were independent opinions of some associate justices. Mahirap pong pangunahan namin ang mga ating Supreme Court, ang House of Representatives, ang Senate, na gagawa kami ng bagay na hindi naman naayon as we were simply, if there are, kung meron po kayong naiisip na na-red tag kayo, perhaps it was simply because there were descriptions which were pronounced by the very Anti-Terrorism Council. But it is not because it was a personal or a network practice to red tag you. Pero tinidyak ko po sa inyo, kapag ka may batas na bawal yung gano'n, susunod po kami. Maraming salamat po.
Mr. Chair, to respond and to wind up, we have three branches of government. While sa atin po, Mr. Chair, we filed a bill to criminalize red tagging. Pero kapag wala pa po yan, hindi ibig sabihin na wala tayong gagawin kapag nangyayari ito. And in fact, kaya natin sinasalang ang mga resolution, ang isang resolution and other resolutions at mga batas, panukalang batas dito. Dahil gusto nating mapanagot ang mga actually supposedly nasa media, pero sila din ay nasa forefront ng red tagging na ang batayan nito, Mr. Chair, ay maraming kasinungalingan. Kasi napakadaling maghabi ng kasinungalingan. We can have 1,000 versions of lies. Pero ang katotohanan po kasi, Mr. Chair, nag-iisa lang yan. At yan ang mahirap na gawin. At yan ay dapat ipagkatiwala natin sa mga credible media organizations. And as we can see right now, SMNI is a huge exception. hindi lamang sa journalistic standards, pero sa paano ina-uphold ang katotohanan, Mr. Chair. Kaya with that, given the detrimental effects no, of what SMNI is doing, hindi lamang sa mga kababayan natin ano, na nagpapahayag, mayroong mga advocacies, pero may implications na rin sa national sovereignty natin, Mr. Chair, with this partnership na as we can see, parang hindi nga rin talaga lubos na madepensahan dahil tinitag pa ang sarili nilang news item. So that's why kailangan talaga, Mr. Chair, merong managot doon sa mga maling ginagawa. That would be all for now. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Manuel, after that, we will go to the Honorable Gutierrez. But before that, the Chair would like to recognize the new members that entered the hall after the roll call was made. Of course, the Chair would like to recognize the Honorable David J.J. Suarez of the 2nd District of Quezon, the Honorable Edsel Galeos of the 2nd District of Cebu. He is in here already. Of course, I saw the Honorable Jervin Luistro of the 2nd District of Batangas. Welcome, ma'am. The Honorable Daphne Lagon of the 4th District of Cebu. Welcome to my neighbor. The Honorable Jeff Ponghun, the 2nd District of Zambales. To the equally good-looking representative of the city of Parañaque, the Honorable Congressman Edwin Olivares. Thank you for coming. Of course, to the Honorable Christian Unabia of the 1st District, Misamis Oriental. And last but not least, to the hardworking Honorable member of this council, of this Congress, from the 2nd District of Marikina City, who promised to be here after the BICAM. And I hope the budgets have improved. The Honorable Stella Luz Kimbo, the 2nd District of Marikina City. Welcome, ma'am. And yes, I was looking for him early on. The Honorable Alan T. Is he here? Sir, welcome. We now proceed.
Mr. Chair.
Wait, the Honorable David Suarez. David Suarez has joined here. Then the Honorable Dan Salvador.
Doon
So
sa
now we have
point,
also another question. Yes.
thank you. Doon sa point na ni-raise ni Congressman Manuel, I understand it was the president of SMNI. Sir, are you with us today? Yeah. I understand you represented SMNI in Beijing in July this year to talk about the partnership between your two networks. Can you please further elaborate on the details of this partnership between these two networks?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. SMNS collaborated with China's state TV CGTN following executives meeting in Beijing, China in July 2023. Nag-usap po kami kasi in-invite po kami nila doon sa pag-cover ng ASEAN Games. Yun yung parang unang usapan na magkaroon kami ng collaboration na makahingi kami ng mga videos ng mga palaro doon at may balita dito sa atin sa Pilipinas. At doon nagmula ang magiging partnership sana na gagawin pero hindi pa na-finalize hanggang ngayon. So, but for now, hanggang sa video sharing lang po kung ano po ang pinakamagandang balita, may mga breaking news na kailangan malaman po ng mga Pilipino ay binabalita po ng SMNI. Ganun din po kung meron po mga balita na nasa Pilipinas na gusto rin malaman ng mga Chinese. Ganun din po kasi ang practice ng networks dito sa Pilipinas. In fact, marami pong humingi sa amin ng videos, binibigyan po namin sila as long na mayroong courtesy po ng network na kung saan sila humingi.
ganun din po kami humihingi kami sa kanila. Ganun lang po kasimple ang partnership. Wala pong ibang wala po, sa ngayon din po hindi po nakafinalize at wala pong pinirmahan ng mga partnership po. Hanggang verbal agreement lang po, Mr. Chair.
So thank you very much. So Mr. Chair, in other words, wala pa pong dokumentong draft
Wala pa po,
between
Mr.
both
Chair.
parties?
Wala pa po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just want to share kasi yung concerns ni Kong Manuel. May lumalabas kasi sa China news na yung mga Pilipino ang naging aggressive sa West Philippine Sea. Binaliktad po nila yung kwento. Iba yung kwento sa kanila doon sa tunay na nangyari sa mga Pilipino. Kaya ito po ay medyo may pangamba din para sa akin. Dahil alam naman natin, diba, there are always two versions of the story. But you know, as Filipinos, we always have to support that which the Philippine government will do. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Before I give it to the Honorable Rog, I just opened the letter now. It's addressed to me. This is the response. This is response to a December 6th invitation for your committee for me to appear on a hearing at its hearing on December 11 o'clock a.m. I have not been an officer of Swara Sub Media Corporation from the time of the enactment of Republic Act 1442 up to the present. Hence, I must respectfully send my regrets for my absence at the hearing today. Sincerely, Pastor Apollo C. Tibuloy. Do you confirm that he is not an officer since the renewal of the franchise in 2019? The Honorable Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, hindi po opisyali siya po. Kasi inibitahan namin sa hearing na ito si Pastor Tibuloy.
Mr. Chair, hindi po, Mr. President.
So, but he owns, he shares po siya sa kumpanya. Establish po natin yun. Yes,
thank you, Mr. Chair.
yes, Attorney,
May I be recognized?
so people, you're recognized.
Your Honor, in 2018, Pastor Apollo owned 1.5% of the stockholdings of Swara Sub Media Corporation. But sometime in 2021, 2022, he donated his shares to the cooperative, which is now cooperative is now listed as a stockholder of Swara Sub Media Corporation as of the filing of the 2023 amended GIS.
When did, in 2020, wala na po ba siya Pastor Tibuloy?
2020, he was still a
Officer?
No, not an officer, Your Honor, but a stockholder.
Yes.
As to 1.5%.
Correct. 2023 siya nawala eh.
2020, sometime in 2022, Your Honor.
Okay. So, kaya nga, pag report sa 2023, wala na po yung pangalan niya.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And he has 0 shares in SMNI or Swara
Yes,
Sub?
at the moment, yes, Your Honor.
No shares?
No shares at all.
Okay, under his name.
Yes, Your Honor.
But if he is a member of the cooperative or any other company, then he could still have his shares.
He is not a member of the cooperative, Your Honor.
He's not also a member.
That's
He's not
correct.
also a director of any of the other corporations that are involved in the Seoul, half of the Seoul Corporation.
Yes, Your Honor, he is not.
He's not.
Yes, Your Honor, he is not.
So in any form, shape, or manner, he is not an owner.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you feeling better now? Because last hearing, you had to run to the clinic. Are you okay?
Well, I'm monitoring my BP, Your Honor.
Okay. So I hope you're okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
Short.
Yes, the Honorable Kimbo.
Yes, in the last hearing, I made a manifestation that based on the GIS, Mr. Apollo Kibalaway was listed as ultimate beneficial owner. I believe until 2021. So, can we hear a confirmation
Well, the
from Attorney Smni? Or maybe the question is, until when was he
the
ultimate beneficial owner?
Okay. Attorney Roderick Suplico.
Your Honor, I'm holding a copy of the amended GIS for 2023. In the last, he's not holder of record
That's
as of this time, Your Honor.
well, earlier, sir. So the question is, until when was he the ultimate beneficial owner? So the GIS that I read in the last hearing were, I believe, 2021 and 2022. So ang pinakita po natin was a change in ownership or change in UPO from 2021 to 2022. So sa pagkakaalala ko, as of end 2021, siya po ang nakalista ng UPO.
Let me check the records, Your Honor. I
Mr.
wanted to
Chair,
speak
okay.
based on the record.
Can you, I'll go back to you, Attorney Suplico.
Thank you, Your
On
Honor.
2 points. One, yung kanina sa IT, the turning down of who put down the page, and this issue raised by the Honorable Kimbo. You will have to validate also because the documents held by the Honorable Fernandez says hanggang 2020, but your answer to me earlier was 2022. So we would like to know a clear response under oath on this issue. The Honorable Francisco, the Honorable Ramon Gutierrez is recognized. Oh, I'm sorry. The Honorable Franz Castro, then the Honorable Ramon Gutierrez. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Well done, Fernando.
Sir, is the policy of the rules of these committees to have a alternate on the
Yes, my apologies, Honorable Dan Fernandez, because I'm just following the list of, as I said earlier, it's the first to register will be acknowledged.
don't get me
But
wrong, I don't
yes,
want to undermine
okay.
the minority,
Yes,
you know, but what
yes.
is the policy of this?
Yes, so I will, yes, I would like to give way first to Honorable Franz Castro. Then if the Ramon, the Honorable Gutierrez will give way to you, then we will go for it. Okay? As a senior member.
Kasi ibang majority are also
Because
voting
they,
for their
yeah, but you will have to put your name. Because you know, if you're not in the list, then I will not be able to determine who's majority and minority. Like, you know, iyo ko po yan, kaya kaya ko po sabihin yun. The Honorable Franz Castro is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So ito dapat tatanong ko ng second committee hearing, the rundown of the different cases filed against Lorraine Badoy and also to Lorraine Badoy. Okay? Siguro ang unang tanong ko po, Mr. Chairman, si Attorney Tolentino po ba yung attorney rin or counsel po ni Lorraine Badoy sa lahat ng kaso?
No, Mr. Chair. I've already engaged with respect to this hearing, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So thank you po, no. Siguro for the for the information ng ating committee, i-rundown ko lang po yung ilan sa mga red tagging na ni Lorraine Badoy na nakasampa na ngayon doon sa iba't ibang mga complaint na in relation din po doon kay Representative Pimentel last time. So, nung April 9, about kay Maria Ressa, yung April 19, 2022, this administrative complaint filed by the Office of the Ombudsman, violation of Section 4A of the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards over malicious and defamatory posts and articles against journalists. So, Ressa listed as at least 9 instances when Badoy branded her as an enemy of the state using his verified Facebook page or through official websites. So Badoy had also falsely declared Rappler as an ally and mouthpiece of the CPP-NPA. So ito po yung isang kaso. Familiar po ba kayo doon sa program?
I have no personal knowledge with respect to that case, Mr. Chair.
So wala kayong So next, Mr. Chair, another one, Mr. Chair, yung former Kabataan Representative Sara Elago. On December 7, 2022, this is also an administrative complaint, violation of Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for public officials and employees against 6 officials of NTFL, including Badoy, filed with the Ombudsman. Badoy and other officials were charged and committed grave misconduct for repeatedly claiming she was a communist rebel, and accusing the Progressive Party's group of acting as a front organization for the CPP. So, former Representative Elago argued 6 government officials were acting in official capacity and are guilty of malfeasance when they made claims against her. So, ito rin po, isa rin pong kaso. And then on December 4, 2020, ito po yung kaso ni Lauren Badoy when she was still a spokesperson of the NPF 2020. So December 4, 2020, may karapatan, criminal and administrative charges against Badoy, NSC, Hermones Esperon Jr., Antonio Parlade, and Mocha Usod for crime against humanity by persecution under 2009 law incorporating international humanitarian law. So Karapatan Secretary General Cristina Palabay said she and Karapatan had been persistently tagged as terrorist members or supporters of the CPNPA by the respondents. So yan, isa pa. So ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, so ito po si Lorraine Bador, talagang persistent, consistent po yung mga red tagging na ginagawa. Hindi lang po siya ngayon, sa nakalipas pa, even before ngayon na natin pinapatawag natin sila. So marami po pong kaso. And then another case po sa Supreme Court, October 2022, various lawyers, judges, law practitioners, and their respective organizations. So the Supreme Court, motu proprio, and the following numerous formal and informal complaints raised to its attention, ordered her to explain why he shouldn't be cited in contempt after her online rants against Judge Magdosa Malagar. Her rants were spurred by decision junking the government's petition to proscribe as terrorists the CPP-NPA. Magdosa Malagar said crimes alleged in the government petition were against the law but did not fall under the terrorism as defined in the HSA. So sinabi po dito sa isang kanyang programa, Mr. Chair, if I kill this judge, and I do so out of my political belief that all allies of the CPP-NPA and NDF must be killed because there is no difference in my mind between a member of the CPP-NPA and NDF and their friends, then please be lenient to me. She has also insinuated that judge's husband, UP Cebu Chancellor Leo Malagar, has links to CPP-NPA and used to be communist country. And days prior, the SC also issued a stern warning against those who continue to incite violence against judges and their families. It said such action will be considered as contempt of court and will be dealt with accordingly. So, sinasabi natin, Mr. Chair, dito, yung about po dun sa mga red tagging. So, meron na po itong, jurisprudence na binanggit po ni Representative Manuel, at meron na rin po itong nasa Supreme Court. Okay? Yung tungkol po doon sa desisyon ng Supreme Court na sinulat po ni Justice Bionen. And isa pa po, last na po ito, Mr. Chair, yung Ibon Foundation, February 10, 2020, administrative complaint with the Ombudsman against Badoy, Parlade, and Esperon for their persistent attacks against and red tagging of progressive groups, which the policy research group said violated provisions of Code of Conduct and ethical standards for public officials and employees, conduct grossly disgraceful of the public interest, unprofessional, unjust, and insincere political bias, unresponsive to the public, distorting nationalism and patriotism. So leading up to the complaint, Badoy, in an episode 1 News, the chief claimed that Ibon was part of the CPP instead of addressing Ibon's concern. After, in fact, check numbers cited in the Duterte legacy campaign. So, ito pa po yung mga madadagdag natin mga complaint at kaso po against dito kay Lauren Badoy. So, meron po akong ilang tanong po dito sa KDP. Nandiyan po ba ang KDP, Mr. Chair? Yes, meron pa po akong mga ilan pang question po. Ayun, sinabi ko lang po yung mga ano po, mga ilan pang mga kaso, Mr. Chair. So, ito ang kasi dun po sa mga binobroadcast po no, ni Lorraine Badoy at saka ni Eric Celis, Mr. Celis, tungkol doon sa kanilang mga pagsinungaling, lying, unconfirmed na mga report. So, gusto ko lang po siguro matanong, maybe it's NPC, KBP, at saka kung meron din po dito ay MTRCP, Mr. Chair. So, ang una pong tanong, bakit po di pwede ang mga side comments expressing personal opinion sa isang news program? So, pwede po ba ang KBP na sumagot doon?
Mr. Chair, that provision was included in the Code of Ethics of KBP so that the public is not misled between a news and a commentary. So there should be at least a separator between a news item and a commentary, or the person on board specifies that that is a comment. As a disclosure, Mr. Chair, this provision is under review with the KBP because of the changing style of commentators and newscasters. But the important thing is there should be a distinction between a comment and a news item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So isa pa pong tanong, doon po sa tatlong agency natin kung sino po yung makakapag, whether it is true or false, so pwede rin pong explain. So, after airing information provided by a confidential source, quote unquote, an effort should be first made to look for a source who can identify or who can elaborate the information provided by the confidential source. So, is it true or false po?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair?
May I be allowed to answer?
Yes, please.
It is good practice to have independent verification. The verification of news from an informant, it should not be standalone. Ethics demand and good media practice demands that you make an independent verification from sources outside of the informant.
Thank you po sa KBP. And then, ito rin po, true or false then, explain. Rumors or gossips shall not be aired in guise of news, using terms like anonymous source, confidential source, or unknown source, shall not justify the airing of rumors and gossips, especially in news programs.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So, it is true po.
Yes, it is true, Mr. Chair.
Yes, so it is on section 4H, article 1 of the news sources. Okay, so when an unconfirmed reports are aired, it must be emphasized that they are unconfirmed. True or false?
That is correct, Your Honor.
So sa SMNI, so programs intended to malign, unfairly criticize or attack a person, natural or juridical, are prohibited. Tama po.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to manifest, Mr. Chair, that SMNI is not anymore a member of ABP, but we have our own policies, internal policy of our company to follow the highest standard of journalism. In fact, our motto is truth that matters. So that's our motto,
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
so ibig sabihin kung hindi ka member ng KBP, so your program can malign, unfairly criticize, or attack a person, natural or juridical.
No, Mr. Chair.
So,
No, Mr. Chair.
dahil hindi na kayo KBP, sabi mo eh. So ang tanong kanina, is it true or false? Programs intended to malign, unfairly etc. Sinabi mo dahil hindi ka na member. Although it is in the Section 2, Article 4 on personal attack.
Even though, Mr. Chair, that we are not part anymore of KBP, we have our own standard of journalism, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Interjection.
Here, that they just withdrew their KBP accreditation after the first hearing,
Yes.
before the second hearing, or on the day of the second hearing. So, that's, please take note of that, those dates, okay? And this hearing commenced or started, they were still members of the KPP. Thank you. Yes, please proceed with your line of questioning, the Honorable Frank. Are you done? Kong Gutierrez?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With the indulgence of my colleague,
Please proceed.
short interjection. First of all, I agree, Mr. Chair, precisely the point I wanted to raise first, that despite the withdrawal from membership in the KBP, this does not excuse the SMNI, for they have been bound during their membership, and all of these instant cases were during that period. But that aside, Mr. Chair, another thing that we'd like to bring up, I believe during the last hearing, I think it was Congresswoman Stella Timbo, who requested the manual of operations, code of ethics, and everything that came to follow. Mr. Chair, may we confirm with the officers of SMNI if they have submitted the same before this committee?
Attorney Deltino.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have with me the manuals of operation, including, Mr. Chair.
No. Have you submitted, the question was, have you submitted that to the committee secretary?
Not yet, Mr. Chair. We will submit now, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, unfortunately, we wanted to have that right away so that we can study before coming to this hearing. How are we going to make use of that very thick, voluminous document in today's hearing kung ngayon lang po sinasubmit? That is our concern, Mr. Chair. And I believe there are other documents that this committee requested last hearing that have not been submitted. So that's something that we most respectfully want to ask the COMSEC to review. No? Just those 2 points. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Ramon Gutierrez. Anyway, can you please just submit those documents? And may we ask the page to please get those documents already today? And the other documents that were requested from you, so that we can review. If you will have to call even a hearing, remember, I already had the permission to conduct hearings even during the Christmas break. So, if you do not submit Attorney Trentino, we will call you on December 25, right? For a hearing. And Attorney Rolex will go, okay?
Chair, I put on the record that there's a meeting right now, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
The code of the manual of operation of SMNI. Second, Mr. Chair, all the contracts, all our co-production contracts.
Okay.
And that timers, Mr. Chair. And third, Mr. Chair, we're also submitting the contract of advertisements.
Okay.
Of all the contracts of SMNI.
Is that all in the folder that you're submitting?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Page, please retrieve the folder, and we will review, and we will give soft and hard copies to all members of this committee, including the Honorable Ramon Gutierrez, who is very particular with the contracts and the operations manual, with the Honorable Stella Kimbo. Are you done, Honorable Franz Castro? Kasi po, si Honorable Dan Fernandez.
I'll be asking as well, Mr. Chairman, in relation to what
okay. The Honorable Dan.
the gentleman,
Yes.
Attorney Marco Lantino, they have submitted also the service agreement, with the different
Yes.
sponsors.
Andyan na po.
But have you submitted also the official receipts and different invoices that together with all these agreements?
It was not part of our, but we will submit that, Mr. Chair.
I remember the last
Okay.
time we asked for the submission of all these documents as well.
Receipt of.
Yes, the
Mr. Chair,
invoices
it's already
and
the contract, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I know, but
Maybe-
for us to find out
yes.
if they are totally paid or not yet, invoices pa lamang binibigay nyo. So we need that document as well.
Okay. So please
We will
submit.
submit that within the day, Mr. Chair.
Okay. The order is we will request SMNI to comply with the request of the Honorable Dan Fernandez. Ma'am, you still have the floor.
Thank you sa clarification, Mr. Chair. Mahalaga itong tanong ko na ito dahil pinapakita natin dito yung responsibility po ng SMNI sa kanyang mga whether it is black timer, whether it is their talent, ay may responsibility sila na sumunod po doon sa tamang mga rules natin, ano? O kung di man sila kasama doon sa KBP, so itong babanggitin ko at ipapakita ko mamaya na situation at program nila ay before naman na yan na matanggal sila sa KBP. Pero hindi ibig sabihin, dahil tanggal na sila sa KBP, hindi sila magpa-follow ng yung tamang pag-broadcast. Okay? So kaya nga tinanong ko dito, sinabi ko kanina, true or false, programs intended to malign, unfairly criticize, or attack a person, natural or juridical, are prohibited. Okay? Although nandiyan yan dun sa KBP, So is it true or false? Kasama din ba yan doon sa
Yes, Attorney.
Attorney Valentino?
For start, Mr. Chair, although we are not anymore a member of KBP, we have our own standard of ethics, we have our own standard of journalism, Mr. Chair. Okay.
Okay, so ano nga yung standards ninyo as regards the program that intend to malign, unfairly criticize, or attack a person, natural or juridical?
In compliance with our practice, Mr. Chair, we also the manual of operation, Mr. Chair, that we are going to submit today to the Honorable Committee.
Okay.
Okay, kasi Mr. Chair, itong sinasabi ko kanina na standard na hindi dapat ginagawa. Before, alam ba, sa akin, sa organization, or even din kay the Congress, yung tungkol doon sa tungkol sa travel, etc. So kailangan ay makita natin yung ng SMNI as regards to this. Itong mga sinasabi natin pagmamalay. Okay. Meron po last na, Mr. Chair. Maipakita ko lang sa inyo yung isang program nila, yung Laban sa Bayan, kaugnay dun sa pagmamalay sa akin. Yes, at pagbibigay sa akin ng
Can we hear the video as President Honorable Pastor? Please dim the lights.
It's latest.
Kanina naman, soft tone ang committee.
Meron yatang Sir Chair? Sir Chair, meron yatang technical problem?
So, nakaantabay tayo sa video kasi itong channel na ito from facilities pa mga kabayan yung na-delete na video.
Sir Chair, in the interest of time,
Na-delete na channel.
Yes, oo. Pakita na. Pero hindi pa ako sinasagot no? After siguro ng video na yon, sagutin ako na kahit na yung internal nila, nakalagay ba yun sa yung tinatanong ko kanina. Yung pagmamalain, unfairly criticize, i-attack ang person, natural or juridical.
Pag naayos yung video, balikan namin kay Sarampo. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Pero kailangan kasi pupunta tayo kay Congressman Nagharap. Marami pa mong tatanong. Pero alam po ninyo, napakabait ni Kong Dan Fernandez. Papahuli na raw siya. Magbibigay daan muna siya kay may ipapasok po si Congresswoman Kimbo.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Housekeeping lang po.
Yes.
This pertains to the letter of Pastor Tiboloy, which you read earlier. So, dito po, he mentions that he had not, well, according to him, he had not been an officer of the corporation from the time of the enactment of RA 11422, which was in 2019. And this is the reason for why he says he should be excused from this hearing. However, Mr. Chair, so first of all, based on our records, as of 2021, he was listed as ultimate beneficial owner, and that's based on the documents submitted to us. And as we know, ultimate beneficial owner means that he effectively controls the corporation. Of course, he can argue that may technicality hindi pa rin yung officer, but may pa man, ibig sabihin nun, marami siyang kaalaman being, having effective control over the corporation. Number two, pwede ba natin malaman, so sa ngayon po, ang executive pastor ay si Pastor Acobo, tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Prior to him, sino po ang executive pastor?
Pastor Apollo C. Poland.
At nagpalit sila noong December 19, 2022, tama
Yes,
po ba?
Mr. Chair.
Okay, so in which case, si Pastor Kiboloy ay executive pastor up to December 19, 2022, tama po?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, in which case, Mr. Chair, ibig sabihin nun, parang minimislead yata tayo ng sulat na to. Kasi even after the enactment of the franchise agreement, siya pa rin po ay officer ng corporation, being the executive pastor until December 19.
Can I explain to that? There is a legal concept with respect to corporation soul. A corporation soul, usually this is a corporation with respect to religious organizations. If you are the chief executive minister, you're holding the properties of the church as a trustee of the church. The real owner of the church is actually the members of the church. In fact, that is based on section 108 of the revised corporation code, which is here. So that is corporation code, corporation soul, different from one-person corporation or an ordinary corporation.
Mr. Chair, hindi naman po ito korte.
Opo. Yes,
Purpose naman po ng
Attorney Tolentino, ang tanong mo niya is, I mean, huwag mo tayo, kasi we're talking about sole corporation, huwag mo tayo ikot masyado sa officers. We're talking about UBO. Ultimate Beneficial Owner.
who has effective
And
control over the
yes,
corporation.
that is the question of the Honorable
Yes, in which case, Mr. Chair,
Honorable Steno.
which means that he has sufficient information
Opo.
and therefore may kakayahan po siya to shed light on the matter.
Anong pag
at hand.
UBO
So,
kayo?
in which
Alam niyo
case, Mr. Chair, sa akin lang po is we must insist that that he appears before us.
You know why?
Siya lang po,
Alam
Mr. Chair.
po ninyo, attorney, ito yan. In the letter kasi, sabi niya, nung nililieve from case niya noong December 19, 2019, hindi na raw siya officer. Yun ang surat. Ang tanong niya, he may have been officer, but he is still the UBO.
He was never an officer of SMNI.
Correct. No, but nakalagay nga ron. Pero you know, now, he is still the UBO. So he's invited being the UBO. So in the next hearings, we will now, I mean, the records that you've submitted to the committee shows that he is and was the UBO until 2022. Before that, so hindi po siya mali, hindi po tugma dun sa sulat po na binigay niya. Yun ang pure point of ni Congresswoman Stella Kimbo. Hindi po siya tumutugma because ang importante po dito, siguro talaga may-ari na to. You know, we're looking at the ultimate beneficial owner.
I think, Mr. Chair, the best person to answer is the lawyer of Pastor Kibuloy.
Who is?
Here, Mr. Chair.
Oh, now you're not anymore the lawyer. You are the
I'm
lawyer
the lawyer of
of...
SMNI, Mr. Chair,
Okay.
the lawyer of Pastor Kibuloy.
Is she here?
Yes, she is.
Ma'am, please, please state her name.
Good
Yes.
afternoon to our esteemed members, to
Yes.
our chairman and esteemed members.
Yes,
of
yes.
the Committee Says, I am Attorney Antoinette Elizabeth. I am the counsel and representative of Pastor Kiboloy, and I was tasked specifically to furnish this honorable committee with that letter that we have read a while ago, Your Honor.
Okay. So my question is, before that, were you present in the previous hearings?
No, Your Honor, because my engagement is only for today's hearing.
Okay, maybe we ask you to please rise, so I ask the council to administer the oath. Okay. So thank you very much for serving the letter, which now has opened another set of questions. And his position of the Honorable Kimbo is that there's an inconsistency of the content of the letter and now the documents that you submitted before this committee, especially the GIS of 2022 and 2023. She's now going into, there's a comparison. Can you please reply? Is it inconsistent or not?
Your Honor, I'm afraid I'm not able to answer that question intelligently because when I had a meeting with Pastor Kiboloy last December 8th, we only had a very brief discussion. He received the letter which came from this committee on the evening of December 7th, and we had a very short meeting on December 8th. And inasmuch as it was a very long weekend holiday, he does not have the documents. He has no access to such documents, so we cannot answer that intelligently.
So, my question is, Honorable Padua, who can answer the question? I mean, if the lawyers of SMNI cannot answer, and you cannot answer, then who will now answer the questions raised by Honorable Kimbo? Attorney Tolentino.
I think, Mr. Chair, if the committee will allow, can we ask the SEC, Mr. Chair, to explain what is the corporation sole all about?
Mr. Chairman,
No.
that's not a matter of business.
Yes, wait. The Honorable Padua, the Honorable Kimbo, are you going to give way to the Honorable Padua?
Yes.
She has the floor. The Honorable Padua.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the lawyer rin siya, Pastor Kibuloy is present. But yung trabaho nila is to just submit to us the letter of, to the invitation of this committee. And I think sinabi niya wala siyang knowledge. And the letter of Pastor Kibuloy, it's up to the committee if we will accept or not. Diba? And we cannot question the details from the lawyer because in the first place, sagot nga, hindi niya may detalye, hindi niya lamang detalye. So, Mr. Chairman, it's up to the committee, to the chair, to decide whether in the next hearing, we still invite Pastor Kibuloy. Because it's up to us to decide.
Okay, thank you very much. We will decide on that later. Thank you very much, Honorable Paduano. So, because the only reason why I acknowledged your ma'am was because according to the said to acknowledge, requested that you will answer the questions being raised by the Honorable Kimbo. Now, you can also answer the same questions being raised by the Honorable Kimbo. So we're still left in a quandary as to his being the UBO, which we're very interested in. The Honorable
Yes, so Mr. Chair, I will simplify my questions. Yes, please on the letter. The letter says, I've not been an officer of the corporation from the time of the enactment of the RA, so that's 2019. Hence, I must respectfully send my regrets for my absence in the hearing today. So, ang sinasabi pa dito sa liham ay dahil hindi daw siya officer, wala siyang sufficient na information and therefore, hindi na siya a-appear ngayong araw. Yun bang ibig sabihin nun? Ipaliwanag niyo lang.
Yes,
Yun ang logic.
Yes.
Or no lang?
Yes or no lang?
Para madali.
Yes or no?
Yes, because he's not an officer and the invitation states.
So tama, it has to do with not having sufficient information.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. However, it is very clear, based on our documents, and I will furnish you a copy, that he is, or he was, ultimate beneficial owner at April 29, 2021, which is beyond the enactment of the RA, which is 2019. Okay? And as ultimate beneficial owner, he has effective control over the corporation. Now, will you agree with me that having effective control over a corporation, would you have sufficient information about the corporation?
With due respect to the
Yes or
chair.
no only. If you have effective control over a corporation, any corporation, if person X has effective control over corporation Y, does person X have sufficient information about corporation Y?
With due respect to the chairman and members of the committee, as I said, the engagement of Pastor Kiboloy to this representation was solely.
I am asking about person X and corporation Y.
Again, I am not privy to that specific
Mr.
matter, Your
Chair,
Honor.
our attorney is not being
No,
responsive, so
I know, yeah, you were introduced as the lawyer of Pastor
Only-
Pilo. Just to deliver, are you trying to tell me that you were sent here, ma'am, just to deliver the letter to the
Yes, Your
chairman?
Honor.
That's the only thing? You're not
Because,
supposed to answer any question?
Yes, Your Honor, because the Pastor Tibole respects the today's proceedings, despite the very short period of time was given when he received the invitation. As a show of respect to this committee, he wanted to have someone personally deliver the letter.
Okay, so she was just here just to deliver the letter.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Attorney Supli, can you answer the question? Ask SMNI, since this is an SMNI affair.
Well, Your Honor, in our records, specifically the amended GIS for 2023, his name doesn't appear.
well, that is also, Mr. Chair, let me point out one thing that we also uncovered when we were comparing documents with the SEC. It turns out that the submission to Congress is different from the submission to the SEC. So ito pong submission ng GIS to Congress, which has the beneficial ownership declaration, ito pong binasa ko. Dito po ay wala po dun sa submission sa SEC. Kaya nagtaka po ang SEC. Sabi nila, bakit? Well, we can ask the SEC to verify that. But yun po ang naging...
Who is the beneficial owner in the SEC records? May I ask the SEC
For
attorney?
For the April 29, 2021 submission, can you double check your documents and see if it has a beneficial owner declaration?
Yes, Mr. Blanco?
Yes, Your Honor. The repository of the submissions of the GIS, which contains ultimate beneficial owners, is with the AIPP. But we confirm on the chair that and we have access to documents that are with the honorable and we confirm that.
What do you confirm?
We confirm that from 2020 to 2022, the declaration in those documents, ultimate beneficial owner for as far as it was Pastor Muling.
So you're saying that,
I stand corrected, Mr. Chair, 2020.
I'm sorry, from 20, this should be, Attorney Blanco. You're a lawyer, right, Attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Attorney Padilla. Yes. Are you confirming what? This, from what date again? You should repeat the date.
Until 2020, Mr. Chair,
He was.
the ultimate beneficial owner.
How about so 2020, 2021, 2022, they are not, he was not anymore doing.
Not anymore.
Sir Chair,
The Honorable Kingo.
in 2021, exactly on April 29, 2021, they submitted exactly the same
Who?
thing.
SMNI.
SMNI,
Okay. And
declaring the same,
that
that Pastor Kipaloy
is still.
was the ultimate beneficial owner.
So,
Yes, Attorney Padilla.
so it would appear, Mr. Chair, that the honorable Kim was correct, that we have different documents.
What I was saying
See,
earlier.
so now there's that confirmation that the document submitted before the SEC is different from the document submitted before this honorable committee. For the information of SMNI. I don't think that's something that can be refuted anymore unless you will say that the other, I mean, what do you say?
Maybe Mr. Chair, may pagkakamali sa pag-file sa House of Congress. But based on our record, Mr. Chair, only 2020,
These are notarized documents, attorney.
yes, maybe.
So we will call now the notary public and we will go there. Ako mabuto tayo ng New Year.
But based on our record, Mr. Chair, Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy is the beneficial owner only in 2020 because he is the trustee of a corporation sold the existing pastor of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ.
Correct.
Because per description of the SBC, Mr. Chair, letter B, D, and I, Mr. Chair, only natural person should be included in the beneficiary. That's why the name of Apollo people was there. Actually, our intent is that the commercial soul, the executive pastor of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, who is the trustee, is Pastor Apollo people. And he is not the trustor or the real owner of the church.
Well, I mean, you know, we can rumble jumble the whole thing, but the bottom line is who is the UBO? Yeah, the UBO is very clear. And SEC has stated that earlier. The Honorable Kimbo, anyway, Honorable Kimbo, we will continue the line. Are you willing to give in already? Are you still have a question?
No, I'm just saying that these are notarized documents.
Yes.
So the April 29, 2021 notarized GIS clearly states the UBO is Pastor.
And that they're saying now.
And my bottom line, Mr. Chair, is simply that it's, taking away all of these legalistic
Yes.
concepts. All, bottom line lang naman is that meron naman siyang sufficienteng kaalaman. Ang gusto lang naman talaga natin is shed light on the matter. Yun lang po.
I just would like to ask a question.
Ano lang kasimple.
Ano lang diretso lang ang sagot, attorney. Iba yung sinabi niyo sa SEC. Iba ang sinabi niyo sa committee. Ano po totoo?
Yung totoo po, yung sa SEC po.
So, fake ko yun nandito.
Hindi man fake po. Maybe nagkamali yung nag-file.
Hindi na to. Maraming salamat po. Thank you. Doon lang po tayo, ha? Salamat. Thank you. Okay.
But nonetheless, 2020 is still beyond 2019,
Yes.
which is enactment.
I know what, mas kinapahan ho natin i-justify yan. Iba pa rin po yung sinasabi po sa sulat. Iba rin po yung yun ang punto ho ni the Honorable Kibo. But we will go back to that, ha? Yes, Honorable Toby Campo before the Honorable Dan Fernandez. I just would like to emphasize that this is, I've been allowing all of these interpretation questions to shed light before we go to the discussion. We're already discussing the bill of the resolution, the Honorable Nagharap, but we would just like to get some clarification, especially issues that were not raised in the last hearing before we go into the vote of the committee report. Yes, the Honorable Toby Campo.
Mr. Chair, it's not as simple as sinasabi po ni Attorney Tolentino na nagkamali because these are both sworn statements.
Correct.
So meron isa doon na nagsinungaling.
Correct.
Very simple. We cannot take it as na nagkamali.
Correct.
So I just want to manifest it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Toby Campo.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, can I just manifest?
Wait, let me take this first. The Honorable Kimbo.
I move that we invite the Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Next year.
We will re-invite.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The Honorable J.J. Suarez and the Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just want to share the sentiments of Congressman Chank regarding this revelation. Hindi po pwede na iba yung sinasabit nyo sa SEC tapos iba yung sinasabit nyo dito sa Congress. Because it's supposed to be one and the same. Those are sworn affidavit, notarized documents. And then you have just now admitted na nagkamali kayo ng submission dito. So on that point, Mr. Attorney Tolentino, again, that puts a lot of question on the truthfulness of the documents that you're submitting to the House of Representatives, which may tarnish the very franchise that you hold. Kasi ito po ang pinagbabasihan namin. Tapos when we discovered recently with SEC that you have just confirmed these two documents are actually different.
Mr. Chair, can I see the document, Mr. Chair? Can we check the document?
Yes, we will be, can you please, Comsec, you're directed to give a copy to the honor, to Attorney Tolentino. Now we recognize from Laguna, the Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Finally. Mr. Chairman, I was asking for, in the last hearing, we asked Attorney Tolentino about the documents pertaining to the 2022 service contract, invoices.
Silence is requested, the Honorable Dan Fernandez is speaking.
Yeah, and all of the official receipts that was issued by SMNI in relation to all their revenues collection and at the same time the different scheduled expenses that have been released by SMNI. Unfortunately, Mr. Chairman, when I read these documents that they have submitted just now, it only pertains to 2023 and not on 2022. Thereby, we will be having problem with what we have discussed recently. I hope that you're listening, Attorney Mike. So, can we kindly show yung issues that I am pertaining to? Siguro, yung pong 2020, tinanong ko na po ito nung last hearing. At tinanong po namin kung saan po nanggaling yung breakdown ng revenue po ninyo noong 2022. Kasi kumita po ang Suarsu ng 105 million noong pong 2022. Ang sabi nyo, walang kinita ang pulso ng bayan doon, right? Walang sponsor. And the very reason why we cite Mrs. Badoy or lying is based on these revenues. And if we're going to move for a furlough, no? And not seeing in these documents, those she mentioned in the last hearing pertaining to all those advertisers, we will be constrained to put her in detention. Kasi nga, talaga nagsisinungaling siya. Dahil sa sinabit nyo, I haven't seen Attorney Mark Tolentino. Wala ako nakakita dito pertaining to the subject advertisers that she mentioned in the last hearing.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we have no program pulso ng bayan. Only word. Laban kasama ng bayan is the program of Badoy and Kay Eric, not pulso ng bayan.
Okay, doon sa laban ng bayan, she mentioned 3 sponsors, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair, but based on that information, she has no personal knowledge of that, Mr. Chair.
So in other words, wala kayong sponsor doon.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So she was lying indeed. Dahil sinabi niya meron. And you told us na wala. And that's the reason why we cite her for contempt. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Okay, so in other words, kino-confirm pa rin ng mga dokumentong to na talagang wala na sponsor yung programa na kung saan siya ang host.
That's why I answered, Mr. Chair, in our last hearing, Mr. Chair, that there was no advertisement, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, indeed,
So I
you
tried
were
to
correct
correct,
in us citing her for contempt.
I tried to
Okay.
correct, Mr. Chair, Dr. Lorraine, Mr. Chair, in your answer.
Alright. Now, Attorney Tolentino, we asked for the documents sa 2023. Makikita po ninyo dyan, pakibalik lang yung slide. Kasi may revenue kayo ng 90 million, 105 billion.
2022, Mr. Chair.
2022, oo. And trying to read yung inyong pong documents that were submitted, 13 contracts to na sinabit nyo po ngayon. Total of 6.25 million ang totality nitong contract na to. So, if you're going to assess yung pong 2022, paano po kayo nag-arrive sa 90 million na revenue? Para lamang po sa inyong pong mga programa.
Based on my personal knowledge, Mr. Chair.
No, we're not asking your personal knowledge. What we're asking for is the documents that we asked in the last hearing. And precisely the reason why we asked for it. Because we wanted to find out saan nanggaling tong perang ito.
That's why, Mr. Chair, we will submit that within the day, Mr. Chair, with respect to their
Yes, you submitted is an agreement on 2023, not on 2022. We're asking for the 2022, 2021, but you gave us 2023. And today, paano namin, well, buti na lang, nabasa ko yung tatlo. Nakuha ko yung total, 6.25. Meron kayong kontrato, 100, 900, 135, total ng 6.25 million for the year 2023. We are talking about 2022. And the total ng 2022 is 105 million. Explain to us, yan sinasabi ko, explain to us the scheduled expenses and revenue that you have undergone. Kasi hindi po natin comprehend kung saan nanggaling itong pera to. And as long as you are keeping those documents, there is a presumption that this money came from a polluted source. give us the benefit of the doubt that that does not come from a polluted source. Otherwise, it will be construed to think that this is something that came from that.
Mr. Chair, the best person to answer that is our CFO, Mr. Chair.
Who is the CFO?
Ms. Bean Ayon, Mr. Chair.
Is she here?
Ms. Bean, dito po kayo. Please reply. Andito po siya. Kayo rin po.
Mr. Chair, unfortunately, she tested positive for COVID yesterday.
Chairman,
So there was a letter.
So, okay.
It seems that you are evading this kind of questioning regarding the source of your revenue. And we really don't want to mention words that is so hurtful. Dahil kung titignan mo to, at bibigyan nyo kami ng agreement like this, 13 agreements na hindi nagmamatch doon sa 90 million o sa 105 million present. It's hard for us to analyze. Di ba? And even the BIR, they are basing your taxable amount based on your audited financial statement. They are not basing on the detail eh. Kasi detalye ang hinihingi namin, but you're not giving us detail. And we cannot really compute. Even your salaries, yung production ng, tingnan niyo yung program ng production expenses nyo, ng 2022, nag-jump siya ng 15 million. Explain to us. Saan nagpunta yung pera, saan yung ginamit yung pera niya from 1.3? Suddenly, nag-jump kayo ng 15 million.
Mr. Chair, I just received with you, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
The Swarazuk Media Corporation's sales journal, Mr. Chair. I submit this to the Honorable Committee.
O yan, kaya nga, the same thing, isasubmit nyo ngayon. Paano ko naman babasa yan? Hindi na ako magtatanong. So, anyway, isubmit nyo na rin po sa amin. So, magiging basis na rin po namin yan. And can we ask the BIR? Nandito naman po ang BIR, yung RB79, please. Hindi, wala nga. Yung CFO nila eh.
Okay.
We have invited the CFO.
The CFO was,
the CFO is not here.
Attorney, I mentioned the CFO last year. And the refers to the
She is
video.
willing to come here, Mr. Chair, but
She's sick.
we received a...
Can we have her medical certificate? Please
I have
submit
it.
to the committee. Thank you.
Hindi, we asked na lang the chairman, yung presidente. Sino ba presidente? Or may
Presidente,
analysis
kaya niyo po sagutin yung tanong.
Sige,
Sir,
sir.
Mr. Rosete, sagutin niyo po yung tanong ni Congressman Dan Fernandez.
Sir, tanong lang po namin muna sa 105 million. From 2021, 45, tapos suddenly nag-jump kayo ng 105 million. Ano po yung mga sponsor that you got for the programs that you have produced? Ano po yung malalaking mga sponsor that you have contracted with?
Okay. With all due respect, Mr. Chair, I will answer the question with according to my knowledge only. 2022 po is election period po. Marami pong pumasok na political ads. Meron po kami mga EVPs. Meron pong, yung time na yun po, hindi pa po nati-take down yung social media na kung saan nag-i-income dito. At yung tanong po ni Honorable Congressman Dan Fernandez about sa expenses po, lumaki po siya, nag-jump off po ng hanggang 15 million. Dahil po nag-sponsor po ang SMNI News Channel ng pinakamagandang debate sa buong Pilipinas. 4 po yun na debates. Wala po yung bayad sa lahat ng pumasok doon. Mahal po ang Okada. So doon po napunta ang mga expenses. Hanggang doon lang po ang alam ko po ng mga Mr. Chair.
Okay, salamat po. Ako, di commission. Kasi meron akong nakita dito, 2.6 million na yung commission. Parang, hindi ko alam ano ba itong commission na ito.
Kasi po, meron pong nag-sponsor, tapos meron po silang agent.
So yun ang commission nila.
May commission
Okay,
po
punta ko tayo sa susunod na page. Tingnan mo natin yung susunod na slide. Pero submit to us, all the documents pertaining doon sa expenses nyo for the salaries program and production expense. Dito lang, medyo napansin ko lang yung advertising and promotion nyo. meron kayong ginastos sa 12.1 million. Samantala ng 2021, 810 lang yung ginastos nyo. So what is this 12.1 million sa advertising and promotion? Do you advertise as a mayor? So gumagamit na po kayo ng advertisement and promotion for this purpose? What is this all about?
Mr. Chair, hindi ko masagot yung exact na tanong ko.
Okay,
Wala pa po.
yung sa fuel and oil naman po ninyo. Kunti lang naman to, Mr. Chairman. Fuel and oil, nag-jump siya suddenly from 2.6 to 7.9 million. Do you have other source of transportation like helicopter or jet?
Kasi po, nung time na yun, nagkaroon po kami ng additional na marked vehicle po para sa...
Pero, Mr. Chairman, no, yung ganito kalaki nag-jump from 2.6 to 7.9 is not believable kung gagamitin niyo po lamang yung mga vehicle na ordinary sasakyan. That is not possible with this, no? Well, I'm just saying, you know. So, submit us to us as well, yung mga lahat po ng receipt. Well, actually, job yan ng BIR. I think the BIR should issue a letter of authority to start the investigation on submit of getting all these documents. What, BIR? Again? We asked them twice, right? At once, okay. So, sir, yun lang po pagdating po dito sa, pagdating po sa, sa business expense nyo, suddenly nagkaroon po kayo ng business expense. What is this also, yung 3 point something? Makita mo sa business expense po yun. Pero kayo dyan bigla kayo nagkaroon ng 3 point something dyan. Ano po ba yun?
Sorry, Mr. Chair, talagang hindi ko po alam yung...
Alright, I think, Mr. Chair, the problem is the submission of all these documents. So we will be asking na lang po siguro to us, the BIR, para at least masimple na lahat ng mga documents. If we are having a hard time for the SMNI to submit to us all these documents, I think it's incumbent upon the authority that was given to BIR to issue a law one para sa ganun po makita po natin yung mga documents ito. I don't know what to do with this, Mr. Chairman. We're having a hard time trying to figure it out. Kung paano po namin may babalansin po yung mga revenues nyo and mga expenses niyo. But there will always be a presumption, no, that this money is being used in here are coming from a different kind of sources. So, debunk us. I-debunk niyo po kami para at least we will be thinking that this money came from a source that is good, not a bad source. Kasi nga, yun ang magiging presumption po natin dito eh. Hanggang hindi nyo po ipinakikita sa amin itong lahat ng ito, hindi po natin malalaman kung saan yung revenue nyo sa mga expenses nyo. Am I right, attorney?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yan. So, one more thing, Mr. Chairman. Yung Pampibus po na Capital Holdings Incorporated. Kasi, what is the primary purpose of this holding company? Okay. Gagalit na si Nick. Okay. Okay, so, with the indulgence of my colleagues here, siguro i-reserve ko na lang po yung katanungan sa susunod na lang po at nagsalita na si Chairman and with respect to our sponsor, the resolution. So I'll be heading to the next line of questioning in the next round. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much.
Sana po may submit na po finally sa atin. We're giving them another week para isubmit po lahat yung document.
Thank you very much.
Ha?
Okay. We will be calling you again. The next speaker, the Honorable Ramon Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairman, I have a question in relation to this Kongreso filed by Congressman Nagharap. Would have supposedly revolved around Mr. Celis and Ms. Bagoy, but understandably, they're not here given the other matters that they have to attend to. So, Mr. Chair, in that case, I guess we may ask the Is Attorney Tolentino still serving as counsel for them today?
Yes, Mr. Chair, together with Attorney Rolex.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask the lead convener, the Attorney Domingo of MAD, if they could quickly just give us a rundown of the pending cases. I believe this was touched upon last time, but just to refresh our memories, maybe know, Mr. Chair, if there are pending cases of fake news, red tagging, libel against Mr. Celis and si Ms. Batay.
Thank you, Congressman. I was not actually recognized by the COMSEC when she mentioned the resource
Yes.
persons. So,
Yeah. Our apologies.
Am I recognized right now?
Yes, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, the common denominator here of all these cases that we have filed, we are the movement against disinformation, we are representing certain complainants.
Yes, sir.
Would be the red tagging. No?
Opo.
Well, there is no judicial definition of what red tagging is.
Correct.
But other statutes would cover red tagging in its own. No?
Yes, Attorney Domingo.
By definition, red tagging is actually the malicious blacklisting of people or individuals or organizations that are against the present administration or the other party in the political arena. No? So that would be essentially the definition. So what we did was, Your Honor, we filed cases, for example, in the case of Kadapan, who was the co-eds of the University of the Philippines who were murdered by General Palparan. The SMNI was used as a vehicle for the interview of that General Palparan without even the authorization of the DOJ. That was already finally resolved that the DOJ did not have any authority, did not give the authority to give that kind of interview on SMNI.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there are other certain cases, but what I'd like to highlight here is the case of Mrs. Badoy lambasting wholesale the Judge Malagar who issued that decision not proscribing the NPA-NDF as terrorist organization. This actually is rooted in the independence of the judiciary. If you red tag the judge who is adjudicating certain cases, then the independence of the Philippine judiciary is a co-equal branch of this honorable and august House. That would be the height of the impingement of the freedom of expression, even assuming that there is no red tagging as mentioned. But the court, the Supreme Court itself, the Honorable Supreme Court itself said, it's actually practically cited and told Ms. Badoy to stop doing it and red tagging Judge Malagar because that impinges on the independence of the judiciary. There are other cases, not very far from here. There's a case that SMNI again gave the vehicle for the red tagging of your colleague, Congressman Franz Castro, recently.
Mr. Chair, sorry to cut off the
Yes.
Attorney Domingo. May I ask the good research person what date was the issue on Judge Malagar and what date you issue regarding our colleague, Ms. Castro? Thank you. Congresswoman Castro. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
It's October 2022 in GR number 263384, Your Honor. And the court very sternly cautioned Ms. Badoy to stop doing it. Ms. Badoy even said that the judge was imbecile, that she belongs to the bowel of the earth, and all other invectives on SMNI. That's why the reason why we went motu proprio, the court, Supreme Court motu proprio issued that memorandum or that caution. At the same time, the movement against disinformation filed a petition for indirect contempt against Ms. Badoy, which the Supreme Court, the Honorable Supreme Court, took cognizance of and is now pending adjudication by the Supreme Court.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. So we know the date of the case itself, but may we know the date of the incident of the red tagging of the judge? Was that in 2022 or 2021?
2022.
2022 also. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Please proceed.
And of course, the others are, of course, against Atong Tagaduan Araulio. He was red tagged repeatedly. We also filed cases against the red tagging of the journalist in Cagayan de Oro, Corrales. We also, during the height of the COVID-19, SMNI was used as a red tagging vehicle against the frontliners. The medical doctors that were assisting the COVID victims, and the other nurses and other field workers of the Department of Health. They were all red tagged. So there is a very perceptible trend that SFNI is being used as a vehicle for red tagging and what had been termed by the Honorable Congressman Kibo as systematic vilification of certain people that are against what they are trying to advocate at SMNI. So in other words, what I'm trying to say, Your Honor, Congressman Gutierrez, is that we are simply documenting and putting on record these various cases to highlight the fact that the Honorable House Committee on Franchise should take into this matter.
Thank you very
Pursuant
much.
to Section 21 of Rule 6 of the Constitution on this investigation power of the House Committee.
Thank you, Attorney Domingo, a media law professor.
Mr. Chair, if Congressman Gutierrez.
Gladly, Mr. Chair.
Yes, the Honorable Toby.
Yes, because this case was, yung sa Supreme Court po, ano pong petsa po na?
October po yan, Congressman.
Ano po?
October po.
2022.
2022. Right.
Mr. Chair, last week sabi po nila, meron silang ethics committee or ano pa? Grievance committee. Supreme Court na po ang nagsalita, di ba po? Na sinabing hindi ayos yung ginawa.
Opo.
Ano po kaya ang naging resulta ng investigasyon ng grievance committee tungkol sa bagay, Mr. Chair?
SMNI. SMNI. Ito po yung grievance committee na, yes.
If we may advance the information, Mr. Chairman. The committee decided to impose sanction against Mr. Celis.
Is there a document that will show that a sanction was made?
Sorry.
But,
Kay Ms. Bader pala yung sinabi.
so nagkamali po
I was
kayo na-
referring to Mr. Celis.
Sandali. So, mali ho. So, that is not you're striking that, you're requesting that, you're withdrawing that statement.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. Can you answer directly the question, the Honorable Toby Tiangco?
Yes, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
That time, I remember that the court ordered shokos for Dr. Badoy. And we also called her on the committee, Dr. Marlon, me, and the rest of the board. And she had submitted to the court what is, ano pong submitted dun sa kanyang shokos. At pinagsabihan din po siya na respetuhin po ang ating Supreme Court. At nakinig naman po.
Pero alam nyo yung grievance committee na may mention ni Honorable Tiangco is very questionable also. Because I raised that issue that when they told me the composition of the grievance is the producer, the executive producer, the associate producer, how can you have a grievance committee? Sila din naman na nagpalabas ng programa yun. Tapos sila they cannot negate or they cannot go against their talents. Kasi alam naman namin yung negosyo ni Congressman Richard yan, no? Pag ikaw ang producer ng show, ikaw ang executive producer, kasi ikaw rin ang grievance committee, hindi ka pwede. Kasi, anong pwede mo sabihin mali? Ikaw ang producer ng show. Diba you can't contradict what you just did. Sila rin nagkamali eh. Ang nagkakamali din yung production staff din. Diba? So So, paano nyo gagawin yung grievance? So, anyway, ibang usapin yan ha, pero I just wanted to take note and put it on record again. But the grievance committee, I think, is not organized correctly. You can't have the executive producer of a show, the producer of the show, part of the grievance committee because they are part of the problem and they cannot be part of the solution. And I think anybody in television who has experience will agree with me on that. Yes, Honorable Tobican.
Yes,
Yes.
No, because this is a very serious allegation. Alam niyo, minsan, kahit hindi tayo nag-agree sa desisyon ng korte, we have to respect it.
Correct.
Hindi natin dapat pag-ipos. So, my question is, inimbestigahan ba sila ng network? Nung lumabas yung Supreme Court doon sa admonishment?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there an investigation or not?
Ma'am. Meron po ba?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Anong resulta?
Pinatawag po namin si Dr. and she was reprimanded at pinagsabihan po siya na igalang po ang ating court.
Mr. Chair, can we have a copy right now of the reprimand?
We will submit within
In the day, within 10 minutes, Mr. Chair.
Can you retrieve it from the office and send it to us? I-viber nyo lang po sa committee secretary.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congressman Chair. And thank you.
Honorable Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Congressman Chaco. Mr. Chair, so according to our resource person from MAD, we have quite a few high-profile incidents ng red tagging, fake news. Of course, this is under Ms. Badoy, but we also have the instance now that is being investigated by Mr. Celis. I would like to also include as a high-profile incident of fake news. So, Mr. Chair, one more question that I have the lead convener of MAD. Mr. Chair, do we have this kind of trend occurring in other media outlets, in other networks?
May we recognize you?
Please reply. Before that, the chair would like to recognize the presence of our senior deputy speaker, the Honorable Don Gonzalez Jr. of the 3rd District of Pampanga, and Honorable Representative of the 1st District of Agusan del Norte, the Honorable Jose Aquino the 2nd. And of course, for the 1st District of Surigao del Norte, the Honorable Bingo Matugas. Welcome, sir, to this
Mr. Chair.
meeting. Yes, please, Attorney.
My apologies for the interruption, but may this representation be granted authority to leave the committee hearing as I have a flight to catch, Your Honor.
Well, it appears if you don't have any substantial, your role here is just to deliver a letter
Yes, Your
to
Honor.
the committee chairman.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, you're excused.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Your Honor.
Yes, now proceed. The Honorable, yes. Who is the question? Yes, the Honorable, Mr. Attorney Domingo.
I'm not sure it's honorable, Your Honor. Thank
Yes.
you. In answer to the Honorable Gutierrez, there is a very perceptible and perhaps very, very systematic use of SFNI as a vehicle for red tagging and all this vilification campaign. Let's not go far from our house here right now. October 11, SFNI was used in an interview with the former president, threatening gravely your Congressman Franz Castro na papatayin siya. That's why we filed a grave threat case against the former president. Not only that, on November 16, the former president, in the same interview, in the same program, hosted by the SMNI, repeated the grave threat. Okay. Now came the subject matter of the privileged speech of the Honorable Suarez about 1.8 travel. These are all systematic trend of using that particular franchise for their own agenda. And I'm not implying anything that is political, but I'm talking about the fact that there are disinformation, misinformation, fake news, and other historical revisionism being peddled on that particular SMI.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I think yes, we are establishing this trend, no, Mr. Chair, I'd like to reiterate my question to the good attorney. If we may know, because I'm sure MAD as a social civic community organization is monitoring this information, not only with the SMNI. So, Mr. Chair, my question is, do we have a similar pattern of disinformation, of red tagging fake news in other outlets, other media outlets, some of the big names? Do we have the same kind of instance, or is this seemingly endemic to the SMNI?
Well, in fairness to the SMNI, there are some traditional media outlets that have been guilty of red tagging. And I cannot, for the moment, give you all the occasions that have been red tagging incidents, no? But nonetheless, what is very prominent in the context of our relevant and material to our discussion right now, what is very prominently mentioned and very, very high profile would be the SMNI.
So, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yung high profile pala na cases nito would be, seems to be, based on our research person, endemic to the SMNI. Not exclusively, but the pattern seems to be established here. So, we bring this up because, of course, we were talking about the Section 4 violations when it comes to deliberately false information circulating. Of course, these are not, open shut cases, but this tends to give us a pattern that we can look into, and this tends to establish it. So, Mr. Chair, Ms. Badoy is not here, but I would like to ask the attorney, perhaps, if you would be familiar with how long Ms. Badoy was with the USEC of PCO.
I have no personal knowledge with respect to her engagement with the former administration, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mr. Chair. So, but since when was she engaged for SMNI?
2021, Mr. Chair.
2021. Any specific month po ba?
July 2021, Mr. Chair.
July of 2021. I would assume this is still a year before the election, no? So this was still in the previous administration.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, Mr. Chair, maybe know, perhaps from the President, that they knowingly hired or perhaps engaged with Ms. Badoy as a sitting official? Or did she retire prior to the conclusion of the administration?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yusek Lorraine Badoy has program in SMNI, Habang Kasamang Bayan. During the time that she was still the USEC in PCO spokesperson and a member of the Nagharap.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So there was an overlap po, no? We see a clear transition from Ms. Badoy being a USEC on a program of SMNI and now still being on SMNI but as a private person. Mr. Chair, does SMNI have any means of determining which statements she's making as an official and which statements she's making as a private person? Because I understand, Mr. Chair, the substance usually of the program would tend to revolve around this sort of systemic kind of information, as mentioned by the lead convener of MAD. Mr. We'd like to know if where does her official function end and the private person begin?
Can I defer the question to her lawyer?
Mr. Chair, I prefer to find out. No, I'm asking about SMNI's practice. How do you determine the separate liability?
Actually, the broadcast has two kinds of broadcast. There's a live and there's a recorded. So we cannot, if there is live, of course we cannot stop her from talking.
Mr. Chair, but I believe that's actually a provision of your franchise, that it's a responsibility that you have to stop any broadcast.
I mean, we cannot say what, we cannot tell her what to say, what not to say, because she's online.
But surely, Mr. Chair, you tell her to speak as a private person. Or are you admitting here today that you were giving this airtime in an official capacity to the government of the Republic of the